Hey there, it's Alan. Today, we're unlocking something big, the English brain.
Yep, you heard that right. Imagine this: no more translating in your head, no more hesitation. Just thinking, processing, and speaking in English naturally.
Sounds too good to be true? Trust me, it's not. But let's be real for a second. Every non-native speaker has been there. You know that moment when you're stuck, trying to find the right word, or worse, your brain just blanks out?
Been there, done that. And then you're stuck in that awkward pause, wondering if your grammar's okay, or if you should just switch back to your first language. It's frustrating.
But here's the thing. Building an English brain changes all of that. No more overthinking. No more freezing up. Just smooth, confident speaking.
Exactly. In today's episode, we're going to show you how to stop struggling and start thinking like an English speaker. No more translation. No more stress. Just fluency and confidence.
So, if you'd be ready to stop second-guessing yourself and start speaking with power, stay tuned. Let's get that English brain working. So let's dive right in. What exactly is this English brain we keep talking about?
Great question. The English brain is basically a mental shift. It's about training your brain to think and process everything in English. Instead of translating from your native language, you're living in English 24/7. Sounds powerful, right?
Definitely. But here's the thing. Most non-native speakers struggle with this. You know, those moments when you in a conversation and you just can't find the right word. Or worse, when you have to pause and figure out the grammar.
Ugh, I've been there. It's like your brain goes into panic mode. You try to remember the correct tense, but all you hear is, and it feels like the world is staring at you.
Exactly. That hesitation, that doubt. It's like a barrier that stops you from speaking confidently. But guess what? The English brain helps break down that barrier. No more second-guessing, no more mental translation.
Right. The goal is to get to a point where English just flows. You don't have to pause and think about how to say something. It just comes out. You're not translating, you're just thinking in English.
So, what's the big win here? Why should someone make the effort to develop an English brain?
First off, confidence. When your brain is comfortable in English, you're more willing to speak. You won't freeze up in conversations and you won't second-guess yourself. It's like a muscle that gets stronger with practice.
Confidence is key. But there's more. When you're thinking in English, you understand the language better. It's like unlocking a whole new level. You start to feel English, not just learn it.
And let's not forget access to opportunities. Imagine this. You at work, a job interview, or even traveling and English just clicks. No awkward pauses, no stumbling. The world opens up when you can communicate effortlessly.
You're absolutely right. It's not just about speaking better English. It's about making the language a part of your life. When you have an English brain, you tap into a whole new world of possibilities.
Exactly. You'll start to notice that everything becomes easier. Watching movies, reading books, listening to podcasts. It all makes sense without the mental gymnastics of translation. The more you think in English, the more natural it feels.
And that's the beauty of it. It's about progress, not perfection. Every time you think or speak in English, you're building that English brain and becoming more fluent. No need to stress over grammar or vocabulary gaps. You just keep going.
So no more excuses, right? Start small, think in English, and watch your confidence and skills grow.
Absolutely. So, let's get to work and unlock that English brain. It's time to take your English to the next level. Alright, now that we know what the English brain is all about, let's talk about how to actually build it. We're talking daily rituals, right?
Exactly. It's not just about thinking in English once in a while. It's about making English a daily habit. And trust me, those small moments can make a big difference.
So, where do we start? What's the first ritual we need to lock down?
Let's kick it off with the morning routine. Start your day with something small, like reading a news article in English, watching a quick video, or even listening to an English podcast.
Love that. You know, the morning is when your brain is fresh. If you start the day in English, it sets the tone for the rest of the day. It's like warming up before a workout. Your brain gets ready to process English more smoothly.
Exactly. And don't worry, it doesn't need to be a long session. Just 5 minutes is enough to get your brain in English mode. Plus, It's a great way to stay updated with current events while practicing your language skills.
Totally. Now, here's another one, the English-only zone. Pick a time or place during your day where it's just English, no exceptions.
Yes, could be during lunch breaks on your commute, or even during your workout. The key is consistency. If you dedicate specific times to English, you'll start to automatically switch into English mode.
And here's the thing, this isn't just about speaking. You could make it an English-only listening zone too. Listen to English music, podcasts, or audiobooks. The more exposure, the better.
Right? It's all about immersion. And speaking of immersion, here's another game changer: active listening.
Oh, I love this one. Active listening is more than just hearing words. It's about engaging with what you re-listening to. So, when you hear something in English, try summarizing it in your own words, asking questions, or connecting it to your own life.
Exactly. It forces your brain to process the language deeper. Don't just listen passively. Interact with it. Whether it's a podcast, a movie, or a conversation, really focus on what's being said and why it's being said.
And don't forget the most important part, thinking in English. That's the ultimate brain workout.
Yes, try this. Translate your daily thoughts and actions into English. Instead of thinking, I need to buy milk, try I have to buy milk. Little by little, your brain will start using English to describe the world around you.
Or better yet, think out loud. Narrate your day in English. It sounds silly at first, but trust me, it activates those language pathways in your brain.
Plus, it's a fun way to practice. You're not just thinking, you're speaking out loud, reinforcing those English phrases.
Exactly. So, to recap, start your morning with English, create an English-only zone, practice active listening, and make thinking in English a habit. You do this every day, and you'll be amazed at how quickly your English brain develops.
It's all about making English a daily ritual, not a chore. Little steps, big progress. Let's get to it.
All right, Alice, let's talk about something that can totally change the game, thinking in English. I mean, how do we even start?
Good question. It's all about shifting your mindset. Instead of mentally translating from your native language to English, you want your brain to automatically think in English. Sounds wild, right?
Yeah, but trust me, it's not as crazy as it sounds. The more you practice, the more your brain starts to make those English connections. And here's a cool trick: visualize.
Exactly. When you see an object or experience something, try to associate it with English words and phrases. For example, if you're walking past a bakery, think of how to describe it in English: fresh bread, sweet smells, morning crowd.
Yeah, that's huge. By linking English words with real-life images, you start to create a mental map in English. It's like creating a picture in your mind every time you think about something.
And that's how you strengthen memory. It's way easier to remember words when you've connected them to actual experiences or things you see every day.
So, that's step 1, visualization. Step 2 is translating your thoughts into English. Let's say you're thinking about lunch plans. Don't think, I'm hungry, I want pasta. Think, I'm hungry, I want pasta for lunch.
Exactly. You're not just thinking in English about big things, but also the tiny, everyday thoughts. It's like changing the default setting in your brain from your native language to English.
Right? And if you want to take it a step further, think out loud.
Yep. Talk to yourself in English, even if it's just narrating your actions. I'm getting my keys. I'm walking out the door. I'm heading to the car. It feels silly at first, but it activates your brain to start thinking in English naturally.
That's the trick, right? Making English a part of your daily mental routine. It becomes second nature the more you do it.
So remember, visualize, translate your thoughts, and think out loud. The more you practice, the more English will just click in your mind.
Exactly. Thinking in English is the key to fluency. Start today, and soon enough, you'll find yourself thinking and speaking like a native. All right, Alice, we've talked about how to think in English, but now let's get practical. What tools can we use to actually build this English brain?
Oh, we've got some solid tools up our sleeves. First up, vocabulary building. You've got to keep adding new words to your mental toolkit.
Totally. And here's the secret: flashcards. Old school, but they work. Apps like Anki or Quizlet can help you create flashcards with new words and review them regularly.
Yep. And don't just memorize the word, put it in context. Imagine you're having a conversation using that word, or write a sentence with it. It sticks better that way.
Right? And while we're on the topic of words, grammar practice is a must. No escaping it, my friend.
Grammar. But honestly, it's not as bad as it sounds. There are apps like Grammarly, or websites that offer grammar exercises that focus on common mistakes. It's all about consistency.
Exactly. Practice makes perfect. And the more you focus on fixing those little mistakes, the smoother your speaking and writing will get.
And speaking of smooth, you need immersion. Surround yourself with English. You can't just practice in a vacuum.
Right? Immersion is the golden ticket. Watch English movies, TV shows, listen to podcasts, music, get it in your ears and eyes. It's like osmosis. The more English you hear, the more natural it will sound.
And don't just consume passively. Engage with the content. Pause the movie, repeat what the character says, or write down new phrases you hear. It's all about making it interactive.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about the social aspect, building your English tribe.
Yes. You're not in this alone. Find other learners, practice together, share tips. It's motivating to see others going through the same struggles and successes.
And don't be afraid to speak. If you can, join online forums or language exchange apps like Tandem or HelloTalk. Talk to native speakers, get feedback, and build your confidence.
Confidence is key. And remember, small steps equal big results. Celebrate those victories, whether it's using a new word in a conversation or completing a grammar exercise.
Absolutely. So, to recap, use flashcards, practice grammar, immerse yourself in English, engage actively, and connect with other learners. With these tools, your English brain will grow stronger every day.
Exactly. Keep building that toolkit and watch your English skills skyrocket. You've got this.
All right, no more excuses. Let's use these tools and start thinking in English today. All right, Alice, we've talked about the tools, the rituals, and the thinking in English. But what about confidence? How do we actually build that I can speak English anywhere kind of confidence?
Great question. Confidence is everything when it comes to speaking a new language. And here's the secret: small steps, big results.
Wait, small steps? But I want to be fluent like yesterday. What do you mean by small steps?
Trust me on this one. Start with something small. A word, a phrase, a short sentence. It's like lifting weights at the gym. You don't start with a 100-pound dumbbell. You start with a 5-pound one and gradually build up.
I see what you mean. So, celebrate the little victories, right?
Exactly. If you use a new word correctly, celebrate it. If you manage a full sentence in English, pat yourself on the back. The more you acknowledge your progress, the more confident you'll feel.
Got it. Now, what about mistakes? I mean, I'm sure every learner is terrified of messing up.
Here's the game changer. Embrace mistakes. Seriously, don't fear them. Mistakes are part of the process. The more you make, the faster you'll learn. It's like riding a bike. Falling is part of the ride.
So, you're saying mistakes are not the end of the world?
Exactly. Mistakes are stepping stones. Each one teaches you something new. If you say the wrong word or mess up a sentence, laugh it off, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Don't let it kill your vibe.
Yeah, I guess everyone starts somewhere. Even the best speakers were beginners once.
100%. And here's another way to boost confidence: practice with others. Find your English tribe. People who are learning just like you, or better yet, native speakers who can help correct you.
Right? That way, you get real-world practice, and you don't feel like you're alone in the struggle.
Exactly. And when you practice with others, you start realizing everyone is figuring it out. You're not the only one who's nervous or unsure.
Okay, so celebrate the small wins, embrace mistakes, and practice with others. But what about the mental game? How do I get my brain to believe I can do this?
That's where your mindset comes in. You've got to shift it from "I'm not good enough" to "I'm learning and improving every day." Remind yourself, "I'm getting better, and that's what matters."
The power of positivity. I like that.
Exactly. And don't forget to visualize your success. Imagine yourself speaking confidently in a meeting, chatting easily with a native speaker, or even giving a speech in English. The more you visualize, the more you'll believe in yourself.
Mindset shift plus small steps plus mistakes equals confident English speaker. Got it. Let's make it happen.
Yes, you've got the tools. Now go out there and start using them. Confidence comes with practice, and you're ready to crush it.
So, Alice, let's wrap it up. We've covered a lot today. Thinking in English, building your English brain, and boosting that all-important confidence.
Exactly. It all comes down to making English a part of your daily life. Whether it's through small rituals, active practice, or embracing mistakes, the more you immerse yourself, the more natural it will feel.
Right? And remember, confidence isn't something that just appears overnight. It's built step by step, sentence by sentence.
Exactly. So, whether you're speaking with a friend or having a professional conversation, just keep practicing and celebrating your wins. Every little step forward counts.
Totally. So, what's the takeaway, Alice?
Start today. Make your English brain a priority, embrace mistakes, and keep building your confidence. You're on the path to fluency, one step at a time.
You heard her. Now get out there and start thinking, speaking, and owning English. You've got this.
See you next time and keep pushing those boundaries.
Thank you for watching. Your journey to better English and unstoppable confidence starts here. Like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep growing together. See you in the next video, champion.